Hello and welcome to Wednesday. Unfortunately, I am still sick. I was sick yesterday and talked a little bit about that, and today I am still not so good. I don't know if I'll be able to curb this quickly, but I'm going to try. I'm going to take medicine. I got a mostly full night's sleep last night, except for the part where Kepler decided to slam himself into the door in an attempt to get us up. But otherwise, things were good. So I'm going to continue to do my best, get lots of sleep, drink lots of water, take medicine, and try to get rid of this as quickly as possible because there is still work to do. And it's also made me question things like, for example, I have to record Morning Mario for next week. Do I do it today before I feel worse? Or do I do it tomorrow in the hopes that I'll feel better? I don't know. That's a hard pill to swallow. And also, no matter what, the next week's worth of Morning Mario will probably be a sick edition. But that could be fun. It could be something fun for Dan to play with in editing. Today, I wanted to talk about something very specific, and I have to discuss it now because it's come back. It's come back with a vengeance, although it really never left, and I'm talking about eczema. I kind of experienced eczema for the first time when I was younger, very randomly, and it might even be on the vlog. I developed a spot, like on the center of my chest, that was about the size of a quarter. It never hurt, it never itched, it never burned, it never anything. It was just this red spot. It was about the size of a quarter, and I had it for years. Just years and years and years, and that, like, nothing ever happened to it. It just forever, never, never. And then maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, it disappeared. Over the course of a few months, it just vanished. That was the only time I had ever dealt with eczema. Eczema does run in my family. My mom has eczema, and she's dealt with it for decades. And I was like, well, that was weird, but okay, cool. Then last year, during the winter months, I started to get eczema. I didn't know it at the time, but I started to get eczema on my hands. And I wasn't exactly sure what it was because my hands started to get red and splotchy. And I actually was researching it, and it could have been, a few things. I was actually, for a while, I thought that I may have had psoriasis because it started to get really bad. In fact, in the Ocarina of Time Let's Play, we named one of the characters Soraya. We nicknamed her Psoriasis, and that was actually because at the time I was dealing with some of the worst my hands had ever been. At the time, my hands looked like a burn victim's. They were just completely red, completely splotchy, cracking, bleeding, and naming that character Psoriasis was kind of my way of dealing with it. I always deal with my issues through humor. So that's a little backstory on why that character's named Psoriasis, because I was dealing with that at the time. But my mom took a look at it, and she thinks that it's eczema. And now, knowing a little bit more about psoriasis, I think I do have eczema. But it's come back. I had it last year for a few months. I never talked about it on the vlog because I kind of thought maybe it'd be a one-off thing. I was like, I have this thing. Maybe they'll go away, so there's really no point talking about it. I don't know why it's here, but I'll get it to go away and it won't come back, which was dumb of me. I had to learn a lot about how to take care of it, just because one of the things that exasperates it so badly is warm water and soap, and we had to change out the liquid soaps that we use in the house whenever we're washing our hands. Because if I used the normal soap, my hands would just crack and bleed, and it was terrible. And we had to switch over to like a lotion type soap, which I'm not a particular fan of, but I'd rather use that than have my hands cracking and bleeding. So after the winter months passed, and it was a little bit warmer, my hands cleared up, and it was always still sort of there, but it was kept under control, and I don't want to say I forgot about it, but I kind of did. And it wasn't until just a little bit ago that it started to get cold enough where I started to see it a little bit again. Well, we just spent several days in New York, and it was, kind of murder on my hands. So now my hands are starting to get back to where they were. And fortunately, things aren't like super, super red right now. Like during a shower, it's bad. But they're dry and cracking, and it's because of the weather. Yeah, so I wanted to talk about it today just because I try very hard not to be too self-conscious about things. And I think I do a good job. But I have seen comments from last year even where there would be certain shots of my hands where it was, far worse than this. And people had questions. I just kind of didn't address them because I was like, well, it's going to go away, so I don't have to worry about that. But it's not going to go away. It's very unlikely to go away. My mom has dealt with this problem, has dealt with eczema for a long, long time, and she's from Maryland and used to live up there, and it was a lot worse when she was up there because of the weather. So it's better now down here than it was up there, but it's probably something I'm going to have to deal with for quite a while unless I have, some sort of spontaneous remission like I did on my chest. And maybe that'll happen. Maybe at some point it'll just disappear. It'll be gone for a few years, then it'll appear somewhere else. I have no idea. But in the meantime, it sort of sucks. I think the worst part for me is it doesn't bother me. It doesn't burn. It doesn't itch, which is a huge thing. I think the thing that bothers me is when people don't know what it is and they ask if you're okay, or if they ask if you want lotion or you want this or that or the other, and it's like it's not something that you're going to be able to fix. Now I do have some medicine because my mom has dealt with this forever. She has medicine that she uses, and you're supposed to use it like super sparingly because it's a super strong steroid and it actually thins out your skin. And last year I was using it a little bit, and it is incredible how well it works. And there may be even better stuff on the market. I have not went to the doctor for this, but I'm going to be using some of that soon. From what I can tell, whenever I use that medicine, it takes one day where nothing happens, and then I wake up the following day and it's like fixed, and it'll be fixed for like a week or two. So I don't know. This is it's just something that I've had for a while, and I've never addressed, and I really wanted to formally address it because people have asked about it before. And I also know that I do not have it as worse as some people do. I don't have it as worse as my mom does, or as bad as my mom does. So, I don't want to feel like I'm complaining about something that other people have worse than I do, but it's something that I don't like, and I wish I could change. But it is just, a fact of life. And I have it on both hands, and I tend to get it in particular spots, and I've started to get a little bleeding on one of the knuckles of my thumb here. So yeah, kind of a weird thing maybe to talk about, but like I said, I try not to be too self-conscious about these sorts of things, but I am a little bit if I'm honest about it, because it's maybe not embarrassing is the word, because there's nothing you can do to help it, but a little self-conscious about it occasionally. But I just wanted to talk about it so everyone knew. So whenever you see my hands in another shot, and if they get worse than this and I do look like a burn victim, then you'll know I'm not actually a burn victim. I just have what I believe to be eczema. Yeah. Anyway, that's it for today. That's what I'm going to talk about. There is still so much work to be done, and I don't know if I'm going to record Morning Mario today or not. I probably will, because generally it takes me a few days to get over sickness, and I get worse before I get better. So while I'm able to do it, I should probably do it. Tomorrow we're supposed to go to Brick Green Gardens. Night of 1,000 Candles. We do that every year. This year we're going with Dan and Lindsay, and I really hope I feel better before tomorrow, because that would be crappy. On the plus side, I still have a bunch of extra hand warmers that we bought in New York. So I'm looking forward to being able to use those in the cold. I know people from north of here will laugh at me, especially Canadians, but it's cold. It's cold here for me, so hand warmers will certainly help. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. And as always, let's meet back tomorrow, shall we?